Okay, and now we are on the quiz. So I'm on here, actually cheated a little bit, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this quiz. So when I click on the quiz, I already have 16 out of 20 points, but I'm going to go ahead and take this quiz again. So what is the advantages of speaking? Um, it it is a convenient and easy way, right? It's convenient and easy. I'm going to hit submit. Now, if I needed help, what should you always avoid in informal writing? If I didn't remember the answer to that, I could flip to this tab and go to my key terms and look at the definition for formal writing. Of course, I didn't put it in there because I'm not doing everything. Sorry. Um, and now I might have to go look up formal writing, or you might just know. And I know that you should always avoid slang and filler words. And last question, a disadvantage of speaking is you don't have as much time to think. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording and do the rest of the quiz, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I'm about to submit the last question, get my grade. I missed one of the questions. So I can come down here if I miss the questions and I can look and see, well, what question did I write? Did I miss? So after the discussion, what does the author feel they have learned? And I'm guessing that writing well is something that only few people can do correctly. So I guessed real quick through that, and obviously I got that one wrong, but I did pretty good. Looked at my notes for some of it. One thing you could do is, this is one that you missed. You could make note of this for later on when you do additional activities. I would say more so in a social studies class or a science or math class where you're going to have a CST at the end. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about doing stuff in other classes that aren't English. Okay, so now I'm in the algebra class and I want to talk about the algebra studies. So I'm going to go ahead into this study and I want you to notice they give you some definitions. This is all stuff that you should probably have in your study guide. Um, what real numbers, whole numbers, I imagine these are in the vocabulary for this unit. Okay, but I wanted to point out to you, math is going to be really important. You have examples. And science is going to be important. You have examples. You also are probably going to want to do the math practice things. So when I click on this and I have a math practice activity, I'm going to want to listen to this and go through this. A lot of students struggle with math because they're not using all the parts of it. So if I go back through, I'm going to have more where they're going to outline to me the real numbers and rational numbers. I'm keeping clicking. Okay, so remember when I said in English you can type whatever you want in the box? This is where you need to know that you have it right, because you're going to have a quiz and it's going to be a question just like that. What type of numbers are written as a fraction? So I think those are irrational numbers. That's incorrect. Irrational numbers cannot be written, so it's a rational number. Okay, see, I'm not doing good already. So I'm going to make sure I go through and do these as I go, because this is exactly what the quiz is going to look like. Another thing that you might want to do in some of the other classes is in math, when they take you through the steps, you might want to work through these steps on paper. So I might be writing all this stuff down and following these directions to figure out how to do this. A chart like this also might be really valuable. So if I know that that's a rational, irrational number, I think those are rational, right? I can have these in. At the end, I can submit it, and if I get it right, I have it right. If not, I don't, and I practice. And look, it's only two that I miss. So these are rational, that's irrational. Okay, great job. And I could copy this to my notes and I'd have all these examples of what makes a rational and an irrational number. It just is really important in things like math, if you struggle at this, that you go through and you do these things and you take the notes. I found that when I take the notes, I can actually do the math quizzes, and I am totally an English person. So let's do your best on those.